Every day we make choices. Some may seem so little or so simple, like what to eat or what to wear, while others can be life changing, like who to be with, what career to pursue, and how we react to life challenges. But today I would love for us to touch on the power of choice and the power of will, because I feel both of them go hand in hand, willpower and choice. So today I would love for us to touch on power of will and power of choice, and why the choices we make shapes our future. Because if you think about it, or I would say recently, last week, I came across a tweet on X that gave me a different perspective. Week in, week out, I'm always seated here and encouraging women, chase your dreams, go after your dreams, do not depend on a man, you don't need to be a stay-at-home mom, go after your money. But then if we say choice, every human being has a choice, every human being has their own will, then it is okay for everyone to have the right of choice, just as it should be. If you want to be a career woman, be a career woman. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife, be a stay-at-home mom and stay-at-home wife. We don't need to judge people based on the choices they make, because if you think about it, it is a choice. If someone should stand up today and be like, I want to be a stay-at-home wife or stay-at-home mom, I feel we shouldn't judge those people, because at the end of the day, it is a choice, and our choices are what shapes our life or how our life journey goes. So it gave me a different perspective, and I was just like, you know what, we really need to talk on the power of choice, because if we human beings understand how much choice is a superpower in the world, then there are so many relationships, situations, businesses, partnership, and things that will not be in if we understand how much of a power the choice comes with. So I was like, you know what, let's talk about this today. So let's get right into today's video. Happy Valentines, guys. Welcome back to my channel. I hope your Valentine is going fine. You're spending time with your loved ones, enjoying your flowers, your gifts, and everything. I just hope you're feeling all the love and joy as much as you can today. Well, welcome back here. If you're new to this channel, please just go through my videos. There are lots and lots of content for you to get conversant with I and my content. Indulge in them, comment, share, let me know your opinions, because it seems you guys are not willing to talk, or you're shy, or you're still getting to know me. Whichever the case may be, that's fine. You can take your time, but I would really love it if you guys can contribute, comment, like, share, subscribe, and all of that. But anyways, let's get right into today's video. So as I was saying, the topic about being a stay-at-home mom or being a career woman really changed my perspective, because if we say everyone has a right to choose, then when people come out and say I choose to be a stay-at-home wife or I choose to be a stay-at-home mom, they shouldn't come judgment, or we shouldn't judge them. We should let everyone have the freedom of choosing what they want. That is why you hear certain things like being lazy is a choice, being rich is a choice, being poor is a choice, being hardworking is a choice. And in reality, they are all a choice. And I came to understand that sometimes, especially on TikTok, if you're on TikTok, you hear people say things like, oh, they really would love to be consistent or hardworking. They have so much dreams or big dreams to chase, just that they don't have that willpower to do anything. It seems they are so lazy and all of that. And they tend to have a particular word for it, but this is not to take lightly on mental issues or whatever it is that may be the case. But I feel like a lot of people do not understand that everything starts with a choice. I've been on YouTube for almost 2 years, and week in, week out, I produce videos, I upload, I try to connect with you guys. And don't take it that I'm smiling or I'm laughing. It is not easy, just as it's not easy for any other person. It is a choice to keep showing up. It is a choice to be consistent. It is a choice to be disciplined. It doesn't come with specialty, like it chooses a particular person it wants to be, it wants to feed on, or it chooses who should be consistent, who should be more disciplined, or there's like a class for that, or there's something wired in your brain. No, it all begins with a choice. And that is why I told you guys that I also got a different perspective defining motivation from a book I was reading that said Motivation comes from within, not outside. Because in as much as we sit down week to week, we're talking about self-development and different topics, it's one thing for someone to inspire you, it's one thing for someone to motivate you. I could talk every motivational thing I could say to you guys, use the perfect music, the perfect atmosphere. I could even get emotional. But if you decide that you're not going to stand up and do anything, there's nothing anyone on planet Earth could do about that situation. So that is what I want us to understand, that if you don't decide today to stand up and do that thing, it's not going to work whichever way. You don't get consistent immediately. Consistency is a choice, because just as every other person, you will battle. Should I make a video today? I'm so tired. I am not in the mood. Oh, so many other things are happening in my personal life, I'm not just in the mood. My hair this, my camera. It is a choice to show up regardless. So in the aspect of discipline, consistency, all of those things that we need to win in life, to become something in life, to be successful, it is a choice. Even down to being successful, it is a choice to be successful or not. Because think about it, all these athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, businessmen, all the successful people today, they all go through exactly the same thing you're going through. And don't for a second think, oh, perhaps this person is just rich, or perhaps this person has a studio, that is why it is okay for them, or perhaps this person already has a tripod, that is why it's okay for them. I can assure you that every single person does not wake up every day feeling so energetic and positive to doing what they want to do or what they need to do. No matter how much you love your job, no matter how much you truly enjoy what you're doing, there are some days that it's not going to be like that. You will need to pick yourself and fight with your mind. Everything, as I would always say, begins from your mind. The war, the battle, it all starts and ends in your mind. Can you do it? Can you not do it? That is why it is said, if you set your mind to do anything, you can do it. Whatever it is you set your mind to do, it is doable, so long you're willing to take the action. Now, I said choice is a superpower a lot of humans do not understand. Do you realize that if you're in an abusive relationship, for example, be it romantic relationship or friendship, it is your choice to decide if you want to continue or not, if you want to stay there or not. If you're married to a man or a woman you don't love or do not treat you well, it is your choice to stay in that relationship. If you're at job or your work is so depressing, there's nothing good about your job, it's just eating deep into your mental state and everything that has to do with you. If you choose to remain there, it is a choice, you choosing to stay there. If you choose to quit, it is also a choice. But if you decide that you can manage it, everything is a choice. And if we understand this thing, then we'll stop giving people power over our lives. Like, if this person had not done this thing, if you had not told me to do this, if my parents had not, if my brother, if my uncle, you would be able to take responsibility if you understand that everything in life is a choice. Let's say, for example, there are two people in a relationship and one of the parties, be it the male or the female, decides to misbehave, they decides not to have self-control, and the other person decides to stay with that person, keep forgiving her. It is a choice that you decide to be there and forgive that person. And however that person chooses to treat you or behave, at the end of the day, is up to them. It comes from who they are and what they've been able to get away with, what they are comfortable in doing. They will keep doing it. But you staying there and expecting this person to change, it is a choice, and when this person comes out and do the exact opposite that you think or you require, it is also a choice. It is your choice to stay there. It is your choice to forgive that person. So it is unfair to go and say, oh, this person must change because I decided to. It is a choice. It is not both of your choice. So if you decide that this is what you want to do, you shouldn't get angry at the fact that the other person is not giving you that same grace, or the other person is not as forgiving, or the other person is refusing to practice self-control. It is your choice that you decide to stay there. Just as they will say you can never change someone, it is so true. It is that person's choice. If you decide to talk to me, for example, you say, I'm always late, for example, you're always complaining, I'm always late and I'm not changing. You can't change me. The decision has to come from myself. It is a choice that, okay, you know what, from today I want to stop being late. That is the only time I can stop being late. If I consciously intentionally make that decision, not by another person. Oh, your partner, you're always shouting, you're so late to an event. It is their choice to change or not. And if we come to that understanding that almost everything, because we have to also give that part that there are some times in life that life happens, no one understands, no one can explain, and it just happens. Just as they will say, failure is a choice, success is a choice. But we understand that there are some situations where as it doesn't work that way, or life doesn't work that way. But for majority of the population and the world, choice is such a superpower. Because if you think about it, from the life you live down to the dreams you chase, it's a choice. It's, if you want to be a celebrity today, for example, let's use the word celebrity because it's common, everyone understands what I'm saying. If you choose to be a celebrity today, it is a choice to put in the work that requires you to be a celebrity. It is also a choice to sit down at home and expect that you can manifest it and it comes to you. All of these things are a choice. If you and I, for example, we go through the same difficulty, hardship, setbacks and the rest, and 2 years down the line, you've gone on, you've improved, you've entered different business, different things, trying to make out a name for yourself or something. The fact that you continue, it is a decision, a choice for you to continue what you're doing. And if by that time I'm still sulking, still dealing with the pain, still going about telling everyone, oh, you don't know what happened to me in the last 2 years, I would have been a millionaire if not because of this. It is a choice that I choose to remain down instead of going up or going to fight for whatever it is I want to. Guys, I don't know how much to explain it, but choice is such a superpower that if you don't want something, you don't want it, and there's no one that can force it. Because think about it, even down to the decisions we make in our lives. Yes, you can say, oh, you let that person influence your decision, but at the end of the day, any decision that was taken in your life can only be by you. And if it's by another person, then it is because you gave that person the leverage or the power to make that decision for you. But you should understand that everything in life is a choice. If you decide to watch my video, if you decide to scroll past, it is also a choice. You decide to comment, you decide to like, you decide not to, it is a choice. So that is why I was like, you know what, we really need to talk on choice, because I feel a lot of people we tend to react to life instead of doing what we actually want. We just react. And a lot of our life or our lives is just a collection of choices, whether it be intentional or by default. It is all a collection of choices. And there's also another thing I want you guys to understand, that you cannot always control what goes on with you or what happens to you, but you can always control how you react to it, how you choose to see it. Let's say, for example, you and I suffered the same setbacks. It is one thing for me to pick out a lesson from that setback and be like, you know what, perhaps I was not prepared that time, that was why this thing happened. Maybe right now I need to be more prepared so that it doesn't happen again. And the other person decides that, perhaps the audience just doesn't like them, not that they were not prepared or anything. It is a choice. For me, it could be my choice to take a lesson and be able to move on with life. That serves as an encouragement to me to go on. Then it is also okay for that same person to be like, you know what, is the audience with the problem? It is still a choice. Everything is a choice. If you decide to not want to know better in life, if you decide that self-development has nothing to do with you, self-improvement, you're not interested, knowledge, you're not interested, it is a choice. Even following Christ, Jesus Christ that we all know, is a choice. Nothing is forced down on you. So I really want us to understand how much power it is we possess as human beings. No matter how much your parents want you to be a particular thing, if you decide not to be that thing, you're not going to be that thing. And if you decide to go with they forcing it down your drain, it is also a choice that you give them that right or that leverage to be able to do what they do. Because guys, all the things we complain about, oh, that person is not this, that person is not that, or this situation, and it is a choice. If someone is not treating you right and you decide to stay, hoping that they will fit into that image that you've created or you want from them, it is a choice that you decide to be there. And whether this person refuses to change in 20 years, that choice is still yours. If you decide to stay there or you decide to go, it is a choice. And most times in our life, we think success is something that will just come and meet us. Consistency is something that there's a particular age that when we get to, maybe we'll be able to be more consistent, we'll be able to be more disciplined, without realizing that if I want to exercise every day for the next 1 year, if I decide to wake up tomorrow, I can do it. It all starts with a choice. What do I want to do? And talking about this right now, guys, I want you to ask yourself this question, that this life you are living currently, as we're talking, you and I, is this the life you want to live, or this is just, you're just reacting, or you're just going with the flow? Is this the life you truly want to live in your health, your career, your family, your friendships, relationships, workplace? Is that the life you truly desire, or you're just going with the flow? Because a lot of us tend to go with the flow, and that is why years down the line we tend to put blaming, or we point blaming fingers. Oh, this person, I shouldn't have, I would have been way ahead of this if this person hadn't told me that, if this person hadn't made me. And you always hear statements like, oh, this person made me, that person made me. How did they make you? There's no one that can forcefully make you do something, except you've been captured, except you're being tortured, you're held captive. There's nobody on planet Earth that will force you to do what you don't want to do, force you to believe in what you don't want to believe, or force you to even think the way you want to think. And if we understand how much power we hold over our life, and how much power our choices hold over our life and shapes our life, no matter how big, no matter how small, just as I say, our life is a collection of the choices we make, whether good, whether bad, whether small, whether big, whichever decision you're making. Ask yourself today, if you're in a position where you don't like how things are, you don't know where you're going to, and you just know you're not just happy where you are, I would love for it if you can go back down the line and trace what went wrong. If you're willing to be honest with yourself, if you're willing to figure out what the problem is, you'll be able to understand where the problem came from. In this day and age, you can see a 40-something-year-old person pointing blaming fingers to other people but themselves, and you have to understand that you are the author of your life, and as the author of your life, there is no one that holds any power above you. Regardless who that person is, it is a choice, guys. It is a choice to be smart. It is a choice to go after knowledge. It is a choice to reject knowledge. It is a choice to remain ignorant. It is a choice to chase ignorance. Like, I don't know how much to say to you guys, but guys, everything is a choice. Now, I spoke about the power of choice and the power of will. And choice is the foundation. But if we say choice is the foundation, then willpower is a decision that turns into action. Because if you think about it, we as human beings, we all have that moment where we want to quit, we want to give up, we feel like it's not going to work out, we feel like the dreams are not valid, we feel like the dreams are inachievable. That's why I use the example of athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, successful business people. We all have that, but the willpower is what keeps you going. That is something that people don't understand when it comes to this consistency and discipline. Willpower is what turns your decision into action. That willpower is what drives you into doing what you need to do, regardless of if you're feeling it or not. And I'll always tell you guys that even Ronaldo, even footballers, for example, there was an interview I watched of Ronaldo. You can't imagine how much exercise that man does. Exercise, gym should be like a part of his life, just as you wake up and eat. Exercise should be like something that is just a part of his life that is natural. And I came across an interview where he was talking about this discipline and consistency, and he was saying, there are some days that you wake up and you're not just in the mood, you don't want to do it, but at the end of the day you have to do it and all of that. And hearing him speak, it's like, if someone that trains every single day of their life, and I'm talking about hard training every single day of their life, still finds it difficult, then what is your excuse? Because we tend to have this idea that successful people have it easy, but that is not the case. It is just willpower. That is why they say if you have a vision, you don't need any other motivation. If you have dreams, you don't need any other motivation, because that picture you keep seeing, that thing you keep seeing, in your dreams, in your vision, whatever it is, that is what gives you that willpower to turn decision into action. So instead of sitting contemplating, should I be consistent? Can I meet up to this week's or not? When you remember the picture you're seeing, that alone gives you that inner motivation and the willpower to do what you need to do, because that thing you're saying perhaps is just so beautiful and fulfilling that you really need to fulfill it. You need to touch it, you need to connect with it. So nobody needs to advise you, nobody needs to encourage you, even if the hate is coming or lack of support is there, you just find a way to keep it moving because of willpower. So guys, choice is really powerful. Choice is the foundation to anything. If someone decides to give you a wrong advice, it is your choice to go for it or not. If someone should tell you, oh, this is how your life should be, and you decide to go with that person's decision, it is also your choice. It is not that person's fault. We tend to blame people, but it's not it. It is our fault, because before we make that decision, that there's no human being. Imagine me trying to make a decision for your life. It doesn't work that way. No matter how much you guys speak, no matter what you say, for example, trying to advise me, if I decide not to take it, I will not take it. There's nothing anyone can do. There's no one that can enter my mind or enter my body and change it. And that is why manipulation is easy, because manipulators make you think or make you feel like you don't have a choice. Everything is at the back of their hand. You don't have a choice. So when they tell you to do something, or when they tell you very ruthless and demeaning things, you still decide to stay. Why? Because it is your choice to believe what they want to do, because you've given them that power to triumph over you. Because manipulators only go for people who are vulnerable, people who they think will listen to what they are saying and digest it and receive what they are saying. But guys, choice is such a superpower that I feel human beings do not understand how much choice is. Even God in his infinite mercy, in all his glory, gave human beings that choice, that even to serve him, it is all in your court. The ball is in your court. So I feel the more we are going into maturity, getting into that place where everyone is going after the life they want and the dreams they chase, I want you to understand that every decision you're making today is making way for your future self. So before you make any decision today, you've got to ask yourself, what will your future self say about it? Because that is also another thing about choice, that we just make choices anyhow because we feel magically some place or some time in our life everything will just change in a blink of our eye. But we don't understand that even the things that make people go viral, the things that changes people's story, how people's life turn around, it is always a choice. I've read a story where the man who wrote The Anatomy of Illness, I've forgotten his name, he was someone that suffered a lot of medical complications. He couldn't walk. There was a lot of complications with him. But as I speak to you, his theory has been widely accepted by the medical association in different parts of the world. Why? The willpower to do, the choice to not let his circumstance define him, the choice to, regardless of this sickness, I know what I can offer and I know what I can do. And he was able to break barriers. That is how people are able to change their lives. People are able to go from nobody to somebody. It is all a choice. No one is coming to save you, guys. No one is going to make that choice. That choice that you hear instances where people say you need to make a choice that will change your life. You need to go for something that a decision that would lead you to that drastic change you're looking for. Guys, no one has the power to do that. Nobody. And if you insist that someone has the power, it is because you gave that person the leverage, you give that person that power. So the power is just an illusion, because at the end of the day, everything resides with you and everything resides in your hand. So I'm speaking to you guys, if you care to listen to me, being in that toxic relationship, being in that toxic job, refusing to be a good person, being a good person, refusing to be humble, being humble, all of these things in life, everything is a choice. Deciding to be clean, deciding to dress well, deciding to carry yourself well, deciding to want to seek knowledge, deciding to be a better person, deciding to want to indulge in self-improvement. It is all a decision. It is all a choice, guys. Being consistent, being disciplined, being a winner, it is all a choice. So what are you choosing? Are you just living, reacting to life, going with the flow, or you're intentional about the decisions you make? For any and every successful person you see out there, the difference between you and that person is willpower. They decided to go for will over comfort, and that is what a lot of us do not understand, that discomfort, you cannot run from it, guys. It is a choice to decide to stay during the difficult times. All these successful people you see, guys, they've had it even way worse than you think life is hitting you right now. But the difference between they and you is that willpower, the decision to go for what they want to do, the choice to actively follow that other than comfort. They went for willpower over comfort. And the good thing about willpower is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So the more you're using your willpower, the more you're using your choice, the power of your choice, the more you get stronger. If someone should tell you, oh, do this thing, you'll be like, no, I don't want to do it. Why? Because you're so confident in what you want. That is why the aspect of choosing is very important. When you come online, for example, you're complaining, oh, my husband this, my wife this, my child this, my relative, my friend. It is a choice, guys. If you're with someone that is causing you so much pain that you have to come on the internet to complain and all of that, like, it is a choice. What are you still doing there? It is your choice. And do not for a second let anyone brainwash you into thinking, oh, you just have to manage, that person will change, and then you keep going through difficulty, hardship. It is a choice to remain in a place where it's not serving you. It is a choice to go after the friends you want. It is a choice to go after the life you want. It is a choice to remain at home, sleeping, pressing for not doing anything and expecting a manifestation of something. It is also a choice. Just as I say, being a career woman is a choice. Being a stay-at-home mom or wife is a choice. And no matter how much we preach about the importance of every human being having their money, it is a choice for anyone to decide that, you know what, I want to be a stay-at-home wife. Anything, all these things people are saying, I'm not interested in. I just want to be a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home wife. It is a choice. If a man decides not to work, to just be at home, to be a lazy man, to be a man that is not fending for his family, it is a choice. But then you staying in a relationship with that person, coping with everything they are doing, just money, it is a choice. And if you realize how much of a choice you have, guys, I feel like we'll all save ourselves a lot of hardship that we go through, because there are so many people today, even you listening to me, there are so many of us that are not living the lives we want to live, that in fact, we shifted from the lives we want to live a long time ago without even realizing that this life we're living is not the life we want. Ask yourself, especially this period that cosmetic surgery is a norm, is what is so prevalent. Currently on TikTok, every video, I think few days ago, every video on my page is rhinoplasty. And it makes you wonder that, are all these people choosing to do it because that is what they truly want to do, or because that is what other people are doing? It is really, really crazy if you see how we operate as a society, as individuals, especially on the internet. Ask yourself, truly be honest with yourself. This life that I'm living, is it the life that I truly want? Is it the life that I truly envision for myself? Am I chasing my dreams, or am I going with the flow, or am I going with societal pressures? That is why we keep having things like failed marriages, divorces. Why? People are not making their choices. And you hear so many times on the internet where you hear instances like, if you give 90 women or 100 women money now, or upgrade their lifestyle, at least a good chunk, 85%, will leave the relationships they are in. So it's like, if you understand how much of a choice you have, then we'll not be having issues like this. If you don't like someone, why are you marrying them? If you're not ready to marry, why are you marrying? If you're not ready to have kids, why are you having kids? Every decision you make, I want you to ask yourself, be honest with yourself, is that what I really want to do? Is this my choice? Or this is a choice influenced by my parents, my sibling, my friends, my co-workers, society, organization, government? You need to come to that understanding that before you make every decision, you have to check in with yourself if that is what you truly want. Because when it comes to things like this, sometimes, just as I say, you'll be 5 years or a decade past where you were following your dreams, and all of a sudden it looks like you don't even know where you're going, you don't know what you're doing, you don't even understand the life you're living. Why? Because all the choices you're making is influenced by one person or the other, and not directly from you. So guys, you as a human being, one of your superpower, or the most, is the power of choice. If you say someone cannot do you something, guys, they cannot do you anything. If I decide to be in a relationship and a guy should slap me for the first time, if I decide to leave the relationship, it's all in my choice. If I decide to stay hoping that it's never going to happen, to never repeat itself, it is still a choice. But I would want us to understand that if we say choices are superpower and everyone has a right to choose, then this blame game will cease. Because people are so quick that if that person did not do this, my life would have been better. If I did not do this, if that person did not say, if that, we like to put the blame game, but without even realizing that this blame, the people we are blaming, we are just giving them power over our lives, that person has the power to be able to make a decision in your life, and it is not possible. Life doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't. Don't let anyone deceive you. Every choice, how your life would be tomorrow, how your life will be in 2 years, start from today. In fact, it started from the day you were born. Every decision you're making should lead up to where you want to be, should lead up to the moment you're in right now. Every decision. That is why before you make a decision, it is good for you to think. And that is why people keep making that same mistake, because people are not thinking. There are some people that don't even think that their life partners should be by their own choice. There are some people that would rather go to pastors, men of God, to be the ones to make that decision for them when it is their own life to live. So you see how crazy it is that you want to be, for example, I want to be a content creator, and my mom or my parents are saying, I have to be a medical doctor. It cannot work. If I say I don't want to be a medical doctor, guys, there is nothing on planet Earth that can make me be a medical doctor except I subject my choice or my will to the influence of another person. That's the only way it will work. But if I decide not to do it, there's nothing that can make me do it. So guys, it is really important to know how much power you have as a human being. If you don't want to tolerate anything, it's your choice not to. If you say this is not for me, it is your choice. Do not let anyone force you to do anything, because at the end of the day, you are the author of your life. Now, in all the things I have said and I have shared, I want us to talk on how to make better life choices, because another reason why a lot of people do not like to exercise their right of choice is they've been making wrong decisions. So they no longer trust themselves, they no longer trust their gut feeling, discernment, and all of that. So they rather let society make that choice for them or decision for them. They rather let someone tell them what to do. But you have to understand that you cannot use someone else's map to find yourself. It doesn't work that way. Even if you guys are into the same thing, it doesn't work that way, because the decision that person is making is a collection or collective of whatever is happening in their life and what they see for themselves long term. So that decision cannot work for you. So instead of leaving someone or every other person, every other entity to make that choice for you, it is better to start working on yourself and start making better choice, better decision, because that life that you think you deserve, that life you know you deserve, that life you're earnestly waiting for, that life you're impatient to live, is all in your power, and it all lies in the decision you make, no matter how little. If you decide that you're someone who sleeps throughout the day, or you're someone who watches TV throughout the day, it is your choice. If someone else decides that the moment they wake up, they're exercising, they're studying, they're investing time in what they need to do, it is also a choice, So we cannot all sit down and then years down the line, it's like a lot of people have moved past you and you don't have any account for what you've used your life to do, and then you begin shifting them. It's like, oh no, that person did that, if that person hasn't done that, if that person hasn't said that, if they had left me, it is all a choice. And that is why sometimes wrong decisions can set us sometimes 10 years down the line. And we keep talking about this, but people do not want to hear, young people do not want to hear that one wrong decision, as simple or difficult as it may be, one wrong decision can set your life back for sometimes almost a decade. Sometimes till the day you die, that mistake has an impact on your life. So guys, it is really important to make sure that the choice you're making, the choice, if any choice I'm making in my life, should be Victoria's choice, what I truly want, not what someone is saying. And don't get this wrong, you can get inspiration, you can get advice, you can get encouragement, you can be influenced by other people, but just take that part of their word as consideration, not as the final thing. Because just as I will say again, you are the author of your life. But yeah, let's see how to make better decisions. So the first way you can make better decisions or learn to make better decisions would be to be aware of autopilot mode. And that is what a lot of us are operating on. Just as I said earlier on, take a step back. As you're listening to me, ask yourself, this life you're living, the job you're in, the career path you're in, how you eat, how you dress, how you relate to people, is that what you really want? Is that the path you really want? Like, are you just reacting to life? Are you just going with the flow? Or are you actively being intentional about the choices you make? That is one thing that can help you go far in life. be aware of autopilot mode, because sometimes you're not even aware that we've shifted off track or we've drifted away from the main goal or what is supposed to be our main goal. So from time to time, it is important and paramount you check in with yourself that, okay, up until this point, every decision I've made, where I am currently in life, has it been my decision, or it has been a pilot mode, autopilot mode, in the sense that you're just reacting to life instead of actively choosing how you want life to be. If economic problems come, you just move with the flow, not even checking, oh, this place you're in, the state you're in, the situation you're in, is that where you really want to be? I feel like that is something that will help a lot of us if we, every month, in my own opinion, every month, try and check in with yourself if you're on autopilot mode or you're being intentional about your decisions and the choices you're making. Because guys, like I say, small or big, it doesn't matter, both of them together, that is what ends up making your life, your future life especially. The next would be thinking long term. Before you make any decision, before you make any choice, you have to consider the future. What will your future self see? What will your future self be thanking you for this decision you're making, or your future self be sad in this decision or regret the decision you're making? Because there was this series, not movie, I started watching, Severance. I'm sure a number of you must know what I'm talking about, and that's also on my list today. But let me talk about it since I'm talking about the Severance, where they take a part of your brain or a portion of your brain, whereas when you are at work, you don't get to think or remember anything that has to do with your outside world, and when you're on the outside, you don't get to think or even have the memory to retrieve about anything about where you work. The only thing you know is where you work. So you can even see your co-worker outside and not know that that's your co-worker, because that part of your memory has been wiped off. So there's this new participant that entered, and the moment she entered and discovered what was happening, in her mind, she's like, what was her other self thinking? That, mind you guys, this operation is irreversible. So the moment she realized everything that was happening, she cannot believe what her other self was thinking to be able to sign up for this. So she was trying her possible best to be able to go back there and tell the other self that this is not what we want to do, So this thing about choice, you have to think long term with your future self. Before you do anything, you're not only doing anything for yourself of today, everything you're doing is in for your future. So before you do anything, is it working out for your future? Before you make that career step, before you make that personal decision, before you make that decision in relationships, for example, friendships, workspaces, is that fitting with your future goals? Is that in alignment with your future self? What is your future self going to say about the decision you're making now? So it's really important to think long term. That is something that a lot of us in this generation, we are lacking, where people are quick to quit their job, people are quick to leave relationships because they always think, the grass is always greener on the other side. And you and I have come to understand that life just doesn't work that way. So in anything you do, you have to think long term. Because the decision you're making today is not only affecting your today and your yesterday, it affects your tomorrow, even your tomorrow more heavily. That is why it is important to think long term. The last would be to own your decisions. Blaming people only gives them power over your life. Taking responsibility is what gives you power back into your life. And that is why I always say things like honesty, discernment, willpower, choice is very important. Very, very important, guys, because if you don't own your decision and be responsible, there's no way you can correct. Because if you don't understand how you went wrong, what went wrong, then there's nothing to correct. Because if you've not acknowledged there's anything wrong or there's anything that you should have done better, then you cannot do anything better, because nothing is wrong. I don't know if I'm making sense. So yeah, guys, it is very important to own up to your decisions. Owning up to your decision, let's say where you are currently, can you be bold, courageous, and truthful enough to be able to tell yourself that, okay, I have a huge role to play in everything that's happened to me up until this moment. Maybe since I finished school, I've not been able to do anything tangible. I've not been able to be consistent in anything I'm doing, All of these things play a role, and responsibility is a key factor in growth. No matter how you see, responsibility is what will help you go far. Responsibility is what will show you or tell you that you're wrong, and if you're wrong, what went wrong for you to correct it. But if you're not taking responsibility, you don't know anything that is wrong, you don't accept that anything is wrong, then there will be nothing for you to correct. That is why you can always go ahead and make the same mistake, because in your mind there's nothing wrong with what you did, so there's no need to correct. But if you're able to take responsibility that, okay, from the moment I graduated from college, for example, let's say up until this moment, I've not had any job, I've just been lazy, I've just been, if you can be truthful to yourself, then you'll be able to figure out where you need to do better and how to make better choices moving forward. So yeah, guys, having choice or willpower is such a superpower that I feel a lot of people do not understand. There is no one that has any say or authority over your life aside yourself. And just as I would say, our life is a collection of our mindsets, that is the same way that our lives is a collection of the choices we make, no matter how big. Just as I say, some can be simple, like what to eat, what to wear, and who to be with, what career to pursue. All of them collectively come together to make up your life, especially that future self. That is how life goes. Your life is a collection of the choices you make, no matter how big, no matter how little, no matter how bad, no matter how good, no matter how thought through that decision is, or very careless and casual it is. All of them contribute to how our life goes. But yeah, let's go into what I've been watching this week. So what have I been watching this week? This week I started watching a series titled Paradise. This is a really brilliant, interesting and captivating TV show. You can find it on Flixstore streaming platforms, and it's about, just as the name goes, it's a paradise, a place they built because Earth, or the world the world is no longer habitable, it's inhabitable at this point. So they built a different place, and there are just so many things that are happening behind the scenes that is not making sense. Just like there are certain people in power while the other people are just following, they are just ships following. And then it went as far as there were survivors on the outside, but I feel like those in power do not want anyone in that city to know that there are survivors outside. And from the lady in charge, or the woman in charge, her reason is, if they let other people know that there are people outside or survivors outside, people will be forced to want to go after their family members, because you want to know if your family member is one of those that successfully or miraculously survived, and it's going to bring chaos. And then to also be able to put where they are, their location on radar, and they want to stay hidden. Whereas the other people are saying it is important. So, like, for example, the president is dead, and then one of the trusted bodyguards is also dead. So there are just so many fishy things that's happening, and the story just keeps progressing. I don't want to give in so much, but the paradise is really an interesting watch, and it keeps going, revolving between when they were in the world and when they moved to this paradise. So it's just really interesting. Give it a watch. The next I've been watching would be this Severance. Like I said, it's a 2022 TV show, and the season 2 just started again, but I just started watching it this week, and it's been nothing short of mind-blowing. It is a TV series that you really need your attention, you really need to use your brain while watching it, because sometimes the scenes you might even get confused as a viewer. So it is really challenging, it is captivating, it's intriguing, especially to the mind. And for someone who is into psychology, human behavior and the rest, Severance is just a really interesting watch. It is something that I kept saying on Flixstore, and that's like one of the highest rated movie I've ever seen currently, at least from 2024 to 2025. And I just keep passing it. I was like, I don't know, maybe I should give it a watch, I should not. And then recently I was watching some of my favorite YouTubers, and they were talking about it, and I was like, you know what, I need to give it a watch, because it just sounded so interesting that when you're working there, when you begin working there, they will tell you that you have the choice to leave if you want to, but then come to see that your resignation letter will keep getting rejected. You cannot live there. It's like you're caged, and if you stop working there, they will tell you that you cease to exist, or that side of you ceases to exist. Because if you move on with your normal life, then just as I explained earlier on in the video, you don't have any memory of this work life. This work person does not exist. This person in work does no longer exist. So it's just, I'm just on episode 3, guys, and all these things I've said. So I have not really gotten to the main gist of the TV show, but it is really interesting. Even the trailer of the movie, not the trailer, the intro of the movie is just mind-rattling. Like, it's just mind-boggling, guys. So give it a watch. It is really interesting. The next I've been watching is SEAL Team as well. I told you guys I said SEAL Team. I'm currently on season 3. It has 7 seasons, but I'm currently on season 3. If you're new to my channel, it revolves around military. Basically, a military assault unit going from one country to another, doing the assaults, just as their team implies, or the name implies. Really interesting. Give it a watch. And then I've also been watching Love Island, guys. I'd say I love watching reality TV because it's just crazy how human beings behave, and the games they are using those people to play, the mind games they are using those people to play, is just so... I don't know if anyone is not seeing it. I don't know if any one of you is seeing what I'm saying, because the games they give them to play, it's just, they keep them in a pit and be like, oh, you know what, you guys should go after love, try to connect, pick who you love. And then week in, week out, they keep bringing more people to tempt them, to rattle them. They bring out games to say certain things that should not be said, and then just as one of the episodes of this week, I'll say the episode on Wednesday, they were playing the game, and it's like, after playing the game, after every game, there's always a fight. Why? Because the kind of questions they are asking them, and then the game they played on Wednesday, majority carries the vote, isn't it? So when they ask a question, for example, is Ronnie and Harriet compatible? Instead of them to, okay, the result is yes, but no, they'll have to do it yes, this percent no. Why? To give you that space in your mind where you're like, okay, if 47%, for example, said no and 53% said yes, then it's almost 50-50. So are they really liking us? Are we really compatible? Are we not like, there's just a lot of mind games in that TV show, and it's like, we are using actual human beings to do this, to exhibit this, and it's like, is no one else seeing what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying this series. It's just that I feel in years to come, when people must have grown and be matured and open to certain things, they will come to the understanding that this was such an unhealthy game show, reality TV, whatever it is, and what they are using people to do, guys, I don't think you guys understand. And it's so sad that in that time to come, people will not be able to riot, because we know currently there are lots of things to sign, like NDA, consent form, and the rest. But it is really crazy to see how they are using human beings, the mind games they are playing with human beings, people like you and I, and it's just fascinating to see how people are being used as a tool in a game. So yeah, that's all I've been watching. But what have I been listening to this week? Let's move to what I've been listening to this week. This week, a number of songs have been out with their videos as well, and they've all been my faves. We have Rema. He released a song titled Baby, Is It a Crime? And it's like a sample to Sade's song. I don't really know the name of the song. I don't really know the Sade song, but I know that it's a sample of Sade's song, and it is really a nice song. And all of them are releasing love songs. I don't know if it's because Valentine is today's Valentine period, I don't know, but everyone is just releasing love songs. And for Rema, the only thing I would say is that guy is just in a league of his own, and considering that he's still young, I feel like by the time he gets matured and gets a standing foot in this world, I feel like we're yet to see all of Rema. I feel like we're here to see what that guy is there to unleash, and it's just a beautiful and inspiring thing to see his journey. That he's someone that when he came out, there was a lot of naysayers, and he believed in what he stood for. He stood for what he believed in. He fought for it, and here we are seeing different versions of him every time, and it's just really beautiful to see that to see how far he has come and how he's going and the rest. Yeah, so the song is really interesting. I love the video as well, and he's also one of the few Afrobeat artists that really tends to use melanin or black girls in his music video. I appreciate that side of him. So yeah, if you've not given it a listen, give it a listen. It is really interesting. Personally, it is a jam, and I'm a huge fan of Rema, and this is not speaking because I'm a huge fan of Rema. It is really a nice jam. The next I've been listening to will be All the Love by Ira Star, and truthfully speaking, I don't know how I feel about the song. And this is not me saying the song is bad or the song is boring, or no, that's not it. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe I need to keep listening to it. But so far, this is what I'm feeling. But regardless, it's a cool jam, especially for the Valentine. I can see a lot of people using it on Instagram, TikTok to make their reels and their Valentine videos. And then the next on my list would be Why Love by Ashake. I feel like I sound like a broken record at this point that I just love. I really admire Ashake as an artist. Mind you, I don't know anything about him as a person. Honestly, I don't know anything about him as a person, but as an artist, I really appreciate him. And I don't know, maybe sometime in the future when I must have made it or figured it out, I'll get to share with you guys why I'm really intrigued and so into Ashake's music, mastery, and his craft in general. But yeah, Why Love is a really nice jam. And this is not me saying it because I'm such a huge fan, but the video, Ashake is one artist that I really look forward to his videos and appreciate his videos because he pays attention to details in videos. Like he really knows how to make a good video. Like this, the video of this Why Love, now it doesn't even feel like a music video, especially in the beginning where the scenes are changing from him to maybe the lady to the car. You know, at some point it makes you forget like you're watching a music video. It's like you're watching maybe perhaps a movie or something, but not a music video in a sense. And this music video is just so chilled. It's like both of them are just playing, they're just being themselves, they're not even in a music video. It is just, I just love Ashake's craft. I love how much he puts or he invests into his craft. I just love everything about the guy, honestly. And I'm really a huge fan of Ashake, and I'm really rooting for him, Ira, and Rema. Well, yeah, that's all I've been listening to, and I will add it on my playlist. You guys should give it a listen. And if you're new here, once more, I have a playlist titled Victoria's Playlist where I get to share my choice of music or what I'm listening to, Afrobeat. I'm still working on the other parts, that's the blues, every other one that is not Nigerian music though. I'm still working on that playlist, but for now, Victoria's Playlist is public. It's on my channel. You can go through it, get to listen to it, vibe to it. I specially created it for you guys, especially this Valentine. For you and your boyfriend, you and your girlfriend, you and your partner, your significant other, enjoy it. Perhaps we have the same taste in music, or you get to like mine, you never can tell. Just give it a listen and you'll not regret it. But yeah, that's all I've been watching, listening to this week. And I just want to encourage you guys one more time that choice is such a superpower. Do not let anyone influence you or let anyone make you feel less of yourself or make you feel like you don't have any power over yourself. You are the author of your life. You're the pilot of your life. However your life is to go, it's all up to you. However your life goes, it's all in your hands. So what are you choosing today? What story are you writing? In everything you do, ask yourself, is this what I truly want? Is this what Victoria really wants? Is this serving Victoria? Is this what will propel Victoria? Is this what will help Victoria? For example, I'm using myself as an example. You know, everything you need to do, you have to ask if it's serving you, if it's working for you, if it's what you truly want, not what another person is saying to you or what another person is forcing or trying to force down your throat. It's very important. What story are you writing, and are you just reacting? Are you going with the flow, or you are actively and intentionally living the life you truly want to live and you truly desire? But yeah, guys, I just want to ask you guys, let me know in the comment section, what's one significant decision you've made in your life that turned your life around? For me, I would say probably would be YouTube. one of, I would say, would be YouTube, starting YouTube. And that is also something that I would love for us to discuss in a few years time, not now, when it makes more sense. I feel like that's something I would love for us to talk about, on why I decided to start YouTube and how I started YouTube. But yeah, starting YouTube is one of the biggest decisions I have made in my life that has really changed my life. So yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section, what is one decision or one big decision you've made that has change your life or giving your life a turnaround. But yeah, guys, let's move into our quote for this week. What's our quote for this week? So guys, this week I have 3 quotes for us, and the first would be, remember that hard work is a choice, attitude is a choice, discipline is a choice, doing extra is a choice, excellence is a choice. And our next quote would be, to make the right choices in life, you have to get in touch with your soul. To do this, you need to experience solitude, which most people are afraid of, because in the silence, you hear the truths and know the solutions. And then our last quote would be, after a certain age, you are no longer the product of your environment or how you were raised. It is a personal choice to live the way you do. And I just want to leave you guys with this encouraging words to please go after the life you truly want. Go for what works for you, what is serving you. Make a conscious choice today, starting today, that every choice you make is what will shape your future, that your future self will be grateful and thankful for. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't. Like, share, hit the notification bell to get notified when I make a post. Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget, what's one big decision you've made that have changed your life? And thank you so much for watching. I hope your Valentine's Day went well. And yeah, thank you. See you guys next week.